Hello. Today I am kicking off with you guys a little fun mood reading project that I have been working on a little bit. Wanted to kick it off officially here with you, and that is that I am letting the library pick my TBR for a few days. Now, what do I mean by this? What I mean is that often kind of how my workflow of finding books and sourcing them includes checking my local library to see if they have a copy. And if they do have a copy, if it's a book that I'm sort of like, it's a book that I don't feel like I need to own, either I'm not sure, like it's a little bit of a risk, or, you know, it's sort of a one and done kind of genre fiction thing that if I like it, I can always get a copy of it, but I don't have a strong sense that it might be something I love and therefore feel the need to buy on the front end. If it's something that's expensive, if I really want it as an ebook, but the ebook is really expensive or whatever, like there's any number of reasons why the library might be my preferred method by which to read a book. And what often happens is because I have so many things that I actually own, I sometimes forget that I've tagged the books in my Libby app as something that I want to read, and I just kind of let them fall by the wayside. I don't do that as much with audiobooks because I tend to have holds on those pretty regularly. So my audiobook TBR stack at the library I get through, but my kind of ebook one I don't get through as quickly. So I thought what would be fun is to basically mood read from the books that I have tagged in the past and let that kind of just set what I read for a few days. So I've actually already gotten started on this, so we'll flash to the past and then move forward. But the idea is that I'm gonna do this for, I don't know, however many books I end up reading this week. It's the week of Christmas when I'm filming, so I will probably pick, I don't know, 3 to 5 books for this. I will also have some audio going, and we'll just see what I end up mood reading from my library. Just as a, I don't know, I want to celebrate how I have access to, honestly, a fantastic library system here in Nashville. I've always been a user and lover of the library, and sometimes I feel like I don't give it the love it deserves here on the channel. So I figured, you know, it's the week of Christmas, it's a pretty chill week, so we can have a pretty chill reading project together. So with that, throw you back to the past, and we will see what I end up being in the mood to read. Okay guys, first day of Operation Library. What am I calling this? Library readathon, reading from my library, mood reading from my library, whatever we're calling this. So first up, I have Percy Jackson and the Demigod files, and the Olympians, the Demigod files. So these are 3 short stories that I need to read before I get the final audiobook in the original Percy Jackson series. So this is what I'm gonna read today. And then I just got Hollowpox by Jessica Townsend as my audiobook from the library. So that is gonna be what I start when I'm cooking my dinner tonight, and then I will be reading Percy Jackson. So, day 1, yay, all things I'm excited about. Good morning. I fell asleep last night. Like 9 o'clock, so I forgot to update you guys, but I did finish the Demigod Files, which is a collection of short stories from our friend Percy Jackson, and they were just very charming. I would say there were 3 short stories and then a lot of interstitials. I think the interstitials were like cute, but probably like not worth the price of admission for the book as a whole. There was a short story with Clarice that I thought was very charming, and I really like Percy and Clarice's dynamic. I like that they're like frenemies more than enemies. I think that that was a good choice in terms of the dynamic. And then there's a story with, I never know how to say this god's name, Hephaestus, the like forge guy, the maker guy. His kids, they're playing a game of capture the flag at Camp Half-Blood, and like some shit goes down. And again, I thought that was nice character development for some of our beloved main people. So definitely glad that it's becoming clearer and clearer that Annabeth and Percy are like in game, because I'm way into, I just think that they're super cute. And then there was actually like a really good short story with Persephone summoning Percy, Annabeth, I think, and Nico to the underworld. And that was really, really good, and actually like moved the plot forward in an interesting way. So I would give the first 2 3 stars. I would give that one 4 stars, and I would give the overall book probably 3 stars. It was cute. Glad I didn't like spend money on it, basically, because I don't think, you know, it was that substantial. So I was glad that the library had it for me to read. And now I just have to wait very impatiently for The Last Olympian. I'm very ready to find out how this initial series wraps up. So that's my first round of librarying done, and I will check in with you guys when I'm gonna do my next round of it, and I'll try to remember this time to actually show you me picking what I'm gonna read. Okay guys, it has been a long, hard day. Today was like the last big thing I had to do for work before the end of the year. So now I get to spend the rest of the year catching up with all the things that I needed to do earlier this year and just haven't had time for. So it should be a pretty chill rest of the year for me. But for now, it has been kind of a long day. So it is time for us to look and see what I'm going to read this evening from the library. And I am pulling up the app now. Okay, so I am looking for something that is immediately available. I know here at the top, I've got a ton of stuff from Rick Riordan because I've recently been on a big Rick Riordan kick, as you know. And so let's scroll down here a little bit. Oh yeah, the other thing I've been doing is I went through lists that I had on Amazon and put in a bunch of things that I thought were at the library at my old library system. And I went through and added them to my new library system's tag list. So I should have all of those in place. Okay, so I'm definitely looking for something available and I'm looking for something light. So I'm seeing a lot of good books here, but maybe something a little lighter than some of this. Oh, I keep seeing things that I might be, like I just saw Beautiful Stranger by Christina Lauren, but I have to wait for it. So looking for something I can read now. Okay, I see The Virgin's Guide to Misbehaving by Jessica Clare, who is also Ruby Dixon. I just read Bridget's Bane from Ruby Dixon last night and that was really fun. So maybe I can keep that energy up. I see Archangel's Viper by Nalini Singh is available, and I have thought about trying to catch up with her Guild Hunter series, so that might be kind of fun. Ooh, I see An X for Christmas by Lauren Lane is available. That might be a good one because it is Christmas week. I do like a Christmas romance. Let's see here. So Molly Harper. Oh, actually I can get rid of the Hollow Places because I actually just bought that one. Whoops. So I'll move that one off of here. Oh man, a lot of these are just things that are not hitting me the right way. Let's keep looking. Okay. A Nurse for the Wolfman by Eve Longlays. I am tempted to do this because I got an actual recommendation from somebody for this paranormal romance. Maybe from Smart Bitches Trashy Books. I got a recommendation for this and I was shocked to see it was available from the library. So that seems like it might be kind of fun. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and borrow that one. Okay, so I borrowed that one and then I'm gonna go ahead and grab An X for Christmas because maybe that will be what I'm in the mood. I very well could read both of these tonight because they're both pretty light, quick reads. So it's possible that I could do a twofer tonight, but if nothing else, it would be good to have it sort of on deck, ready to go. So I am gonna go ahead and borrow that one as well. So I have got 2 books on my Kindle now. So we'll see what all I get up to tonight. I should mention I do still have Hollowpox out and I have made progress on that one, but not as much as I wanted. It's due in 3 days. So if I get a chance tomorrow during work, because like I said, I need to just catch up on a bunch of stuff. If I get a chance, I'll try to power through more of Hollowpox so that I can give that back. But good. Okay, I feel like we've got a good night of reading ahead. Okay guys, it is the next day and I am here to report that I did not have a great time with either of the books. So Nurse to the Wolfman is not for me. It was not because it was a nurse to a wolfman. Like that was the part of the book I liked the best. Also, can you hear Hastings losing his mind for no apparent reason? This is what we do at this time of morning. So what did I not like about this? Well, what I did like about it is the setup. So basically it's like there's like a paramilitary facility that is infusing animal DNA with veterans who've come back from war who are, you know, like really physically broken. And this is sort of a last ditch effort for them to regain some of their mobility or quality of life, but they don't know all the caveats. And the caveat is they're going to infuse you with animal DNA. I don't think I would have agreed to that. But anyway, so the hero is the titular wolfman and our heroine is the titular nurse. So she comes to this facility. She doesn't really know. She does not know at all actually like what they're doing. And, you know, love ensues. The problem with about this was that I could not handle the hero. He was so unpleasant to be in his point of view. Anytime he came back on the page, I was just like, I cannot. Like, it's been a while since I've disliked being in the head of a hero that much. I mean, you know, I can deal with an alpha hole, it's fine, but he was not, I didn't believe that anybody would fall in love with him with how surly and unpleasant he was. So that was not for me. So I finished that one. I would give it like 2 stars because the premise was cool. I just really didn't like the hero. And X for Christmas, I DNF'd after the first couple of chapters because the heroine, she's teaching at this private school, and the way it's being talked about, it just didn't, I mean, for context, this is the week that we just found out that after all of the back and forth for stimulus, Americans are getting like $600 as way to tide them over during the however many months of COVID we've had. And like, just like the kind of the fantasy it was trying to sell me of like this very ritzy world, I just wasn't in the right mood to be sold that world. So I did not finish that one. However, I will say that I'm very glad that I gave both of these a try through the library, because if I had paid for them, I'd be very disappointed. So hurrah for the library for helping me not waste my money. And while I was going in and updating my tagged list, I noticed that a Dead Djinn in Cairo by P. Djeli Clark was available. So I went ahead and grabbed that, and that is going to be my read over my lunch break today. So I've got to listen to some webinars for work, but then I will also probably be making some progress on holopox throughout the day while I'm working, and then I will be reading a Dead Djinn in Cairo at my break. So that's where we are right now. So far, I'm very much enjoying this like mood reading good time. It feels like I'm mood reading and being productive, which like, what a joy. I may have to do this project again because it gives me just a carte blanche to mood read, which I appreciate. Okay, so it is the evening, and of course, right when I want to show you or read something from my Kindle, it's updating. But I was coming on here to tell you that I did finish reading a Dead Djinn in Cairo this evening. And oh my gosh, such a fun short story. I believe that there is at least one other short story in this series that I already have, which is like something about a hand car or a rail car, I forget. Tram, I don't remember. I got it as a freebie from Tor.com at some point. So I have that, and then I think there's a full novel coming out in this series in 2021, like in the spring maybe. But it's a really fun series. So it's sort of like, kind of like a police procedural, but it's set in Cairo in the 19-teens, but it's a world where in the mid-1800s, dude figured out how to open up a portal to a magical realm with like Djinn and Ifrit and angels and ghouls, like all kinds of magically beings. And our protagonist is an inspector, or like a investigator for basically the equivalent of like the Ministry of Magic. Her name is Fatma, and she is fly AF. That was what I was wanting. Okay, cool. Fortuitously just finished updating, so I can read this to you. But she dresses so dapper. Like, as soon as I read this description, I was like, oh, I'm gonna like this. So she dresses sort of like an English dandy, and it says, today she'd chosen a light gray suit, complete with a matching vest, chartreuse tie, and a red on white pinstripe shirt. She had picked it up in the English district and had it specially tailored to fit her small frame. The accompanying walking cane, a sturdy length of black steel capped by a silver pommel, a lion's head, was admittedly a bit much, but it added a flair of extravagance to the ensemble, and her father always said if people were going to stare, you should give them a show. So I really liked Fatma. She's sort of like she's our detective, and basically this reads like a police procedural, but just in a magical setting, which is something that works really well for me. This gave me a lot of sort of Kate Daniels-esque vibes. I'm not sure. Well, there is a hint of romance towards the end with somebody who comes up in the course of the story. So I'll keep my fingers crossed that maybe that will develop, and this can be kind of a shorter version of Kate Daniels that I enjoy. I don't know. But anyway, I really like that, and I would say that is probably the thing I have liked. No, that definitely is the thing I've liked the best since we got started. So in terms of what's next, I realized that Holopox was actually due back to the library tonight. So I just went ahead and returned it. I feel really bad that I didn't get through it, and I'm gonna have to wait for it again, but I'm not perfect and I sometimes have to do that. So I have that. I sent that back. The new audiobook that I got out that my hold came up for was the first in the Magnus Chase series from Rick Riordan. I think it's sort of like a Nordic mythology middle grade fantasy. So I may get started listening to that. And then I noticed that a couple of the Laura Griffin books in her Tracer series, which is sort of a police procedural romantic suspense kind of series, a couple of those were available. So I grabbed one of those and I think that is what I'm gonna read next tonight. So we're just zipping along here. We'll see how that one goes. But yeah, A Dead Djinn in Cairo is definitely my favorite thing I've read for this so far. It was really good. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house. Mara has finished her book, and Something About a Mouse. Poet. Beautiful. It is the night before Christmas, and I did finish Deep Dark after work today. I liked it. It was fine. I definitely preferred the mystery piece of this to any of the character stuff that was happening. So I don't know, like, it was okay. It was like 3 stars, but I'm starting to worry, or not worry, but I guess like wonder if maybe I just don't really like Laura Griffin as much as I thought I did. I don't know. I've been very hit or miss with her books. Like, there's some that I very much enjoyed, and then there's a lot that I'm like meh on. So I don't know. We'll see how my future with the Tracer series progresses from here. But I think the last book for this vlog is going to be when I get going on Magnus Chase, which might be tomorrow because I'm working half a day. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I'll check in with you guys once I've made progress on that. But for now, I think I've read all of the ebooks I'm going to read. So far, still definitely feeling like A Dead Djinn in Cairo is the winner of this random assortment of books that I've been reading. But, you know, we'll see how a new series from Uncle Rick does for me. It's possible that it could unseat A Dead Djinn in Cairo. I could see that happening. So I'll check back in with you guys once I've made some progress on that. And belated Merry Christmas, I guess. And yeah, that's it for me for now. Hey guys, popping in. It is now after Christmas, and today while I was doing my chores, I did go ahead and get started on the Magnus Chase book, the first, not in the Percy Jackson series, in the Magnus Chase series by Rick Riordan, and I'm already like completely hooked. This is reaffirming my faith that it's not just Percy Jackson I just like Uncle Rick and what he does in general. This is a series based on Norse mythology, and it has such a fun kind of opening sequence, like 10%. Just a little different than what I've typically seen in middle grade or YA kind of fiction. I don't want to give it away, but it's a super fun setup and a very interesting world. I really respect how Rick Riordan, I think, knows when to start his stories. Like, he joins in action very well and still manages to do a lot of really clear communication of the world building. Like, I think that's a real skill of his, and it's very clear to me, and again, I don't want to like spoil kind of what happens the first 10%, but it's clear to me that he had an idea about what he wanted Magnus Chase's equivalent to Camp Half-Blood to be, and he kind of worked from there. And I think the way that he did that was very satisfying, interesting, and just creates structurally a book I'm now very intrigued to see where it goes. So very excited to keep going with that. And like I said, I think this is going to be my last book for this vlog. But yeah, Christmas came and went. It's very low key because of quarantine / the pandemic, but that was fine. Just, you know, nice day to relax, got a nice long weekend, and yeah, I will check back in with you guys once I either make more progress or finish that one up. And actually, I'm going to show you one of the things I've been working on while listening to this audiobook. So one thing I very much took from Marie Kondo is the value of being able to actually see what you have. What I've learned is I have a lot of nail polish, a lot more than I thought, but I have found this actually very helpful for all of my makeup storage. Like, I'll show you in a second how I have my ColourPop singles, because it lets me know, like, girl, you have plenty. This helps me with buying, but it also just helps me like know that I have what I need and I use things more, because I've been painting my nails a lot in quarantine. So anyway, I'm very proud of these little shelves. I'll put a link to it in the description if you guys are interested, but this is a nice little project that an audiobook helped me with. See, like, I have one of these things for my lip colors, and it greatly reduced my lip buying, my lipstick buying once I did this, because I was like, oh, I have a lot. And then this is a magnetic board that I put up on my bathroom wall, and then I magnetized all of my ColourPop, like all of my singles in general. And I use them a lot more now that I did that. So anyway, these are the little projects. If you've ever been wondering what I do when I'm listening to audiobooks, it's these kinds of little random projects that I enjoy an audiobook with. Okay, I'm back because I'm done, and I love this book so much. It's so good. Okay, so I don't even know how to talk about this book because part of what I think is delightful about it is the kind of surprise I think I alluded to early on in my reading, or like just the way it's structured I think is interesting and leads to a lot of narrative choices that I thought were really satisfying. But I want you to discover that for yourself if you haven't read this book. So I will just leave that piece there. And I will tell you that I really love the first third of this. The middle third, I was sitting there like, okay, this is a lot of side questing. We probably could have cut some of this out, but it's good. And then the ending I thought was just incredibly satisfying. There's a reveal that I loved and was like I didn't see it coming at all, and I just loved it. Maybe other people did, but I did not. And yeah, this book made me laugh out loud multiple times. There is a Tony Robbins like reference in this that really just like had me laughing for a couple of minutes about it. Just generally, I found this to be so much fun. Even though I have critiques of it, in terms of just my enjoyment, I have to say this is one of the things I most enjoyed reading this year, so I'm gonna have to give it a 4.5 because it really just like, I had a great time for almost the entire book and I was just utterly delighted by the way it ended. And I want to keep going, but I want to make more progress on the main Percy Jackson series. Oh, and that's something else I didn't mention. That delighted me to realize that the Magnus Chase verse exists in the same world that Percy Jackson does, which suggests some very interesting things about the Riordan verse in terms of these different gods and how they coexist. And actually, I think this ties in thematically in some interesting ways in terms of like fate and how religion or supernatural things do or don't impact the mortal. Like, it's interesting. I'm going to be very interesting to see how this continues to develop. And now that I think about it, I believe Percy Jackson has some overlap with the Cain Chronicles, which I think is Egyptian mythology. So I'm just all around very intrigued to continue to dive into the Riordan oeuvre. And I will say the other thing that I loved about this book was that it's very clear to me that it's just, from what I can tell anyway, and I need to do some more digging, I think Uncle Rick heard the critiques or just like the concerns, the fact that his books could center a very specific kind of like, frankly, alt-right version of like Christendom or Western civilization or whatever. And it's very clear in this Magnus Chase book that he sets it up to say like, no, that is not what I'm trying to do. And I love the incorporation of different cultures and even religions within this like Norse mythology. Like the inclusion of Sam and her as a Muslim woman who is also the daughter of a Norse god, and just like I just thought that was so smart and such like a clear statement, in addition to all of his like Rick Riordan Present stuff. So anyway, I was just so impressed with this book. I really do want to read more of it, but I want to make, like I was saying, I want to make some more progress in Percy Jackson. So with that being said, the kitty cats are pouncing on their mice, so I probably should wrap this up. And I think this actually brings this vlog to a close. This is a very chill vlog, but it was one I really enjoyed. It was nice to just do some straight up mood reading. It was nice to remember, like, kind of reacquaint myself with what all I have in my library tags. So that will be a nice kind of like, it was a nice refresher for the next time I'm looking to mood read, to remember to go look in that place to find things. So in terms of what I enjoyed most, I would have to say it's Magnus Chase, Sword of Summer, followed very definitely by A Dead Djinn in Cairo by P. Jelly Clark. I also very much enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to continuing in that series. Worst or like most disappointing, not even most disappointing, just like worst, I would say was definitely A Nurse for the Wolfman, even though I thought the like setup for it was pretty cool. The hero is just insufferable, but very glad I didn't spend money on that ebook and I just got through the library. And all in all, I am just so thankful for the library in quarantine, in the pandemic. I'm so thankful for the fact that we live in an age where we can borrow things electronically from the library. This is definitely not me stopping using the library. In fact, I'm currently in the middle of my next audiobook from the library, which is called Jesus and John Wayne, and I am enjoying it so far. But just, this is me wrapping up this specific project. And yeah, I guess I'm rambling, so I'll start to land the plane here. Definitely let me know what you thought of any of the books that I talked about in the comments below. Let me know maybe a book that you've most recently gotten from the library, and you know, either delight in or bemoan how good your particular library's collection is. I am very lucky here in Nashville. We have a fantastic public library system, probably the best of any city I've lived in, and that includes like BC and Vancouver. So there you go. Like I said, I'm rambling, so so with that, I will leave you here. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias. if you are so inclined. I have all that information listed in the description box below, and I think that will do it. I hope you are having an absolutely lovely day today, and I will just talk to you soon. Bye!